And welcome to unit number 7 for our Interpretive Exhibit Planners Toolbox course. Now, units 1 through 6 were the bulk of what an interpretive exhibit plan looks like. And as you remember, the last units we actually had you essentially creating these interpretive planning worksheets. We did one worksheet for each exhibit, and each worksheet detailed the sub-themes and the topic content and the objectives, and maybe some exhibit presentation ideas that you wanted each exhibit to accomplish. And so what this unit does now is it takes off to where an exhibit planner and designer might begin to work together, because what we do now is, let's say we have 10 or 15 or 20 exhibits, you have to figure out where you want to put them in the exhibit room. And so this is the unit on kind of developing a floor plan. We usually start with doing a bubble diagram, and I've given you an example of those, and also the Matagorda plans that I sent you have, lead through that, you'll see the bubble diagram for that. And then we can do a more detailed floor plan, and in the textbook I had you do some reading on that, and we looked at a couple different ways of doing floor plans. The bottom one is a direct flow, and this one on top is an open flow. And essentially the way it works is that the exhibits are affected by the exhibits to the right and the left of it and the exhibits behind it, and they're all kind of competing for people to come look at them. Remember, type 1, type 2, type 3 exhibits. Well, type 1 exhibits have more pull, more attraction power, and type 3s are more passive. Remember, a type 3 is where the exhibit does nothing and you do nothing. So if you have too many type 3s in a row, people just tend to zip right by unless there's a subject matter or an object, an artifact of intrinsic interest to that particular visitor. So the holding part of those exhibits are pretty short, where the more interactive ones people tend to spend more time with. So when you do the floor plan, what you're figuring out is how you want to reveal your story. So if you're doing a history exhibit, or you're doing an exhibit that requires things in sequences, then you're best to have a direct flow where they start at the doorway and they work their way through, and then they come back and they exit a different door. If you're a nature center, for example, and you have an exhibit on wildflowers, an exhibit on turtles, and an exhibit on shells, they don't have to be in any order. So you can have a random or an open flow. Now, there are some advantages and disadvantages to each one, which we talk about in the book. But real quick, if you have an open flow, and I want to look at the exhibit on turtles, and there's already some people there, I can look at the exhibit on wildflowers until the turtle people leave, and then I can go look at the exhibit on turtles. But if I'm in a direct flow and everything is kind of moving through like toothpaste in a tube, then I kind of keep getting pushed along. People spend less time in a direct flow. They tend to go in and out, and they'll spend more time in an open flow. So those are some of the things that we think about. So what your assignment is you've had your planning forms. I just like you to develop a draft floor plan to kind of let you know and let me know how you might want to arrange the exhibits. Where's the door? Where is the fire exit? And remember, when you do your floor plan, where's the electricity? If you're going to have type 1 exhibits or type 2 exhibits, you have to plug them in somewhere. Make sure that you have electricity. Now, one of the exhibits that I sent in the worksheets was for a project we did for the Missouri Department of Conservation, which included a 23,000-gallon aquarium. And not only did we have to worry about electricity, we had to worry about water. So this is where the interpretive planner and the exhibit designer work with the architect to make sure that we not only had electricity, but we had a drain so we could empty the aquarium. So we had faucets and running water so that we could, fill the aquarium up. So those are some of the things you think. Remember, too, that water is 8 pounds a gallon. So if we're going to have an aquarium that's 23,000 gallons, it's going to be really heavy. So we had to be sure that the floor can handle that kind of weight too. So those are some of the things that the floor plan begins to tell us. So look at the examples, and I've given you a lot of examples to review, and then your assignment is to do a mock-up floor plan of what exhibits you would like to go where. Now, in the case if you're doing an actual exhibit project, you might want to tell me that exhibit number 5 is the exhibit on wildflowers, and exhibit number 6 is on historical fences, and exhibit number 7, so I can kind of see what you got going. If you have any questions at all, send me an email, or I can Skype you, or we can talk on the phone to help you along with this unit. So that's it for unit number 7. And I hope you have fun with it. And when you're done with that, we'll get you going on unit number 8. Have a good one. Bye.